March 2026, no NBA team is currently over the second apron, not one. And the media is calling that a victory for competitive balance. But here's what they're not telling you. The second apron doesn't punish you for where you are today. It punishes you for where your contracts are going. And when you look at the 2026-27 projections, the real numbers from Spot Track right now, 7 teams are on a collision course with the most punishing financial mechanism in professional sports history. The Cavaliers, the Timberwolves, the Lakers, the Knicks, the Nuggets, the Thunder, the Magic. All of them projected over the second apron threshold of $223.7 million for 2026-27. And the architects designed it so there's only one way out: liquidation. This is the summer of divorce, and it starts July 2026. Let's talk about the numbers everyone ignores. 2026-27 season. Salary cap $166 million. Luxury tax line $201.7 million. First apron $210.7 million. Second apron $223.7 million. Now, if you're a repeat offender, meaning you've been in the tax for 3 of the last 4 years, the penalty structure looks like this: 0 to $5 million over $1.50 per dollar. 5 to $10 million over $1.75 per dollar. 10 to $15 million over $2.50 per dollar. 15 to $20 million over $3.50 per dollar. 20 to $25 million over $4.50 per dollar. Above $25 million over, that's $7 per dollar. But here's what the media won't tell you. The money is just the cover story. The real punishment is in Article VIII, Section 2 of the 2023 CBA, and is called the Aggregation Ban. Article 8, Section 2, read it yourself. Second apron teams cannot aggregate salaries in a trade. What does that mean? Well, it means you cannot trade 2 $15 million players for one $30 million star. You cannot stack role players to upgrade your roster. You can only do 1-for-1 trades. A 30 million player for a 30 million player, or less, that's it. And that's not all. Under Article VII, Section 6.08c, if you're the second apron, your first round pick 7 years out is frozen. You cannot trade it. And if you stay in the apron for 3 of any 5 years, that pick is automatically moved to the end of the round, the last pick in the draft. So you can't build up through trades, you can't improve through the draft, and you're paying $7 for every $1 over the line. This isn't a tax, this is a liquidation mechanism, and the clock is ticking. Let's start with Cleveland. Even after trading Darius Garland to the Los Angeles Clippers in February 2026, the Cavs' total cap allocations for 2026-27 still sit at $260.5 million. That's $37.4 million over the second apron. Here's why. Donovan Mitchell, $46.4 million, if he earns All-NBA or Defensive Player of the Year. Evan Mobley, $50.1 million. His salary escalates to over $50 million next season under his designated rookie extension. Darius Garland, $39.4 million. James Harden, $35.6 million, arriving via the Garland trade in February 2026. DeAndre Hunter, $23.3 million. Jarrett Allen, $20 million. 5 players over $175 million before you add anyone else. Dan Gilbert is worth $23 billion. He can write the tax check. But the CBA doesn't care about his bank account, because if the Cavs stay in the second apron, they cannot aggregate salaries in trades. They cannot package Harden and Allen for a star upgrade. They can only do 1-for-1 swaps. And their future draft picks frozen. So the question isn't whether Gilbert can afford the tax, the question is whether he can afford to be trapped. And the answer architecturally is no. Now let's talk about Boston. The Celtics won the 2024 championship, and within 12 months the second apron dismantled them. In July 2025, Jrue Holiday was traded to the Portland Trail Blazers. In the same offseason, Kristaps Porzingis was traded to the Atlanta Hawks in a 3-team deal. 2 rotation players from a championship roster, gone in a single offseason. Not because of chemistry, not because of fit, because of Article VIII, Section 2. And here's what makes it architectural. It worked exactly as designed. Wyc Grousbeck said it himself in 2024. No one will stay in the second apron for more than 2 years. Then he won the title, sold the team, and got out. The new ownership walked in, looked at the spreadsheet, and made the only move the CBA allowed. As of March 2026, Boston's 26-27 projected payroll sits at $182.3 million, over the cap, but safely under the luxury tax line. The restructure worked. The championship cost them everything. The roster is restructured. The championship window is closed. And Jason Tatum, who ruptured his Achilles in May 2025 and only just returned this season, is rebuilding on a gutted team. The Celtics didn't lose Holiday and Porzingis because they wanted to rebuild. They lost them because the architects made keeping them illegal. Boston is not a warning, Boston is the receipt. And then there's Minnesota. The Timberwolves' active payroll for 2026-27 is already projected at over $190 million, $24 million over the salary cap, before accounting for cap holds and roster completion. Anthony Edwards, $45.5 million. Rudy Gobert, $36.5 million in 26-27, with a player option for 27-28. If he declines that option, his cap holds balloons to $57 million. The Timberwolves are trapped either way. Julius Randle, $33.3 million. Jaden McDaniels, $26.2 million. That's 4 players over $140 million before the rest of the roster. So what happens in summer 2026? Well, the Timberwolves face the same choice every second apron team faces. Pay the tax, lose the draft picks, and stay trapped. Or trade Gobert. Not because he's bad, not because the fit is wrong, because the spreadsheet says they cannot afford to keep him. And because of the aggregation ban, they can't package him with another player to get maximum value. They have to take whatever one-for-one trade the market offers. That's not roster construction, that's a fire sale. And the architects built it that way. Now, let's talk about the penalty no one is discussing. Article VII, Section 6.08c. If you're a second apron team, your first round pick 7 years out is frozen. You can't trade it. And if you stay in the apron for 3 of any 5 years, that pick is automatically moved to the end of the round. So, let's say you're the Cavs. You want to go all in and trade for another star. Well, you can't, because your 2033 first round pick is frozen. And if you stay in the apron, it's moving to the last slot. You can't trade for stars, you can't improve through the draft. The only way out is to blow it up. So, here's what's going to happen. July 2026, the Cavaliers will be forced to move Jarrett Allen. Not because they want to, but because the $260 million in allocations is unsustainable under the second apron. The Timberwolves will trade Rudy Gobert for whatever one-for-one deal the market offers. A date first-round pick and salary filler. The Knicks, the Lakers, the Nuggets, all facing the same wall, all making the same calculation. And the media will call it roster construction. But it's not. It's a fire sale. Because the 2023 CBA didn't just raise the tax, it made the super team era financially illegal. You can't aggregate salaries, you can't trade future picks, you can't even build a dynasty. The architects designed a system where elite rosters are forced to self-destruct, and summer 2026 is when everyone finds out. July 2024, Adam Silver defends the second apron. What I'm hearing from teams, they are realizing there are real teeth in those provisions. Real teeth. That's what he called it. But let's be clear about what those teeth are. A $7 to $1 penalty that makes spending unsustainable. An aggregation ban that makes roster building impossible. A draft pick freeze that kills the all-in trade. A system designed to force the breakup of elite rosters. Silver calls it competitive balance. But here's what it really is. Cost control. The goal wasn't to help small markets win. The goal was to make sure no owner could go crazy and break the league's desired parity. And the players' union agreed to this because they got higher minimum salaries and better benefits. But what they didn't realize is that they agreed to a system where super teams are extinct. The Celtics already proved it, and summer 2026 is when the rest of the league finds out. So, here's what's going to happen. July 2026, the summer of divorce begins. Gobert, Allen traded for pennies on the dollar. 2027, the super team era is officially dead. No team can afford to keep 4 max players under the second apron. 2030, the NBA becomes a league of enforced parity. Every team is competitive, no team is dominant. And the fans will wonder why there are no more dynasties. But at Beyond the Buzzer, we know why, because we read Article 8, Section 2. We read Article 7, Section 6.08c. We read the fine print. And we know that the architects didn't just raise the tax, they built a shredder. And summer 2026 is when it turns on. Because here at Beyond the Buzzer, we don't just watch the game, we watch the architects. And we read the fine print so you don't have to. Next video, the ghost algorithm, how AI referees are being installed to protect the NBA's $11.3 billion betting economy. Human refs are becoming an unacceptable liability. And by 2027, 80% of calls will be automated. Subscribe, because the game you're watching, it's not the game being played.